Hello, everyone. We got a few minutes until start time, so I'll hang out. I'm not sure where everybody's dialing in from, but I'm here in Minnesota, and I don't know, feels like 70 degrees and sunny out here. So just enjoy the view for a couple minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, hello. I know we got about 1 minute still until 2 o'clock, but I'll let people trickle in here. So, welcome this lovely Wednesday, April 10th, if you can believe that or not. Um, Couple of housekeeping things while people join. If any of you have been to my webinars before, I like to keep this loose, relaxed. I invite people to use the Q&A feature that's built into Zoom. I think there still is like a raise hand feature. If you'd rather just talk, I can unmute you and you can ask a question there. Invite this to be kind of a discussion, even though I'm going to be going through kind of agenda here. Uh, but feel free to interact. I'm going to have some polls throughout, um, and then have a quiz at the end. But if you get 3 out of 4 right, you're going to be entered into a drawing for a $25 gift card. It's pretty dang easy, so hopefully everybody gets 3 out of 4. But you do have to pay attention a little bit to a couple of things. So, all right, it is officially 2 o'clock, so let's kick this off. Today, we're going to be just kind of talking about some simple ways to optimize your business. So basically, kind of streamlining the processes and your guests' processes as well. So, uh, talk a little bit about me, and then just kind of quickly recap rezStream, what we offer. Some of you may be customers, other of you may not be. And then we'll get right into it with some slides. What I plan on doing here is probably quickly cover the slides, but then do more of an online demo. So I might review some slides on a section, move over to the internet, show you some things, flop back. So I might be going back and then just kind of recap everything. And then we usually offer a couple of things to customers or non-customers if they're interested in any of the things we're talking about. So, um, oh, a little bit about me. I should update this. I think I got close to 20 years experience now, working with small to medium sized independent lodging properties, resorts, small hotels, motels, bed and breakfast, inns, vacation rentals, those types of scenarios. I was born, raised, still reside in Minnesota. I'm a huge Vikings fan, unfortunately. um, but still get excited every year, and I have high hopes, and then they get dashed. So, but I love spending time in summer mostly in the outdoors. Although this winter it was nice to spend outdoors. I think we were close to 40 degrees, 50 degrees in January, so it's pretty crazy. And then the more time on the golf course, the better. And we were golfing. I golfed on December 29th here. Some golf courses were open late January, early February. So on and off throughout the winter, which is incredible yet scary all at the same time. So a little bit about rezStream. Not going to recap our entire history, but we're a small group of, we have 23 employees now. Located in Denver as our headquarters, main office. We offer kind of a suite of solutions, meaning we offer a software with booking engine. We also do digital marketing and website design as well. We focus on superior customer service, ease of use of the software, and overall just a great value. So you can kind of see some of those Capterra badges we've earned and a couple of reviews there, and you can find more on our website. And I should mention again, since I chimed in early, but I know quite a few people have joined since then. Throughout this, if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A. If you'd rather just speak, you can raise your hand and I will unmute you as well. One thing to recap here, we recently launched rezStream Rewards. So there's a QR code if you're interested. And this is for actually, even if you're not a customer of rezStream, but maybe still a fan, we have referral programs where you can earn money, cash back, rewards, gift cards, all of that stuff. So rezstream.com/rewards, you can scan that QR code and go there right there. So first thing I'm going to do is launch a poll just to learn a little bit about who we have here and about you. So I am going to launch that up. I'd appreciate everybody if you fill it out quickly. It should take less than 2 minutes, but this just kind of helps me gear some of these conversations towards who I'm talking to. I should say. I know who I'm going to be talking about. But yeah, if you could help me out, answer those questions. I'm gonna keep it open here for a couple of minutes or until people get it done. Got to tell you, I'm gonna unmute you here. Yeah, you got a question?
Yeah, I think everybody on this call is sales reps. I don't know that anybody, we're kind of like learn about the integration with Heartland.
Oh, this is not you're probably on the wrong webinar. This is more just about the software.
Okay, that works as well.
Right.
I just wanted to clarify that, make sure you didn't think that we were like property owners or something like that.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. All right, we're getting down there. I'm gonna hold it open for another 15 seconds. I think we're gonna be coming close. All right, I am going to end the poll. Looks like spread out. We've got 22% do not use rezStream, which is great. Welcome. A couple people less than a year, a couple people between 1 and 2, and then we've got 3 to 5. Actually, the majority of people have been using us for more than 5 years, so we appreciate that. Okay, so let's get started here. Simple strategies to optimize your business. What I really want to focus on first is kind of what your guests see. So how you can optimize the booking engine to sort of decrease time to booking, make sure you're giving out the right information here. So I will go through a demo here. I'm gonna, like I mentioned earlier, I'll probably more quickly go through the slides, and then I'm going to switch over and actually show it to you. So we kind of have 3 or 4 steps depending to the booking process. Step number one is when they initially hit your booking engine. So some of those things that we can optimize is we can set some defaults like the number of guests, um, 2-night default, booking time frame we can adjust to not allow them to book past a certain time period. We allow custom messages on that booking engine, and then allow you to really showcase to allow the guests to filter unit groups from that first step, and then the option to show that. And step two, which I'll go through, we've got even more filters. So you kind of see on that picture here, just some of those filters and things that you can include in here to kind of help that guest really streamline what they're looking for. So they're not wasting time poking through and having to read each description and everything else. And then step three, this is kind of the optional step, upsells. So I'll just kind of touch on the ability to do packages and upsells. And then the final step. So what happens on this final step? How can you customize that? We allow you to put custom fields on there. Terms and conditions, I talk about this a lot. We can really customize that. I'll show you some examples. And then what if they don't book? What if they get down and they never click that book reservation button? I'm going to be kind of talking. So let's see if I can figure out how to switch screen. I did it. All right. So let's talk about that. What I'm going to focus on here is, I know some of you don't use rezStream, but if they hit your website, this is kind of like my fake website, and they might click book now or check availability. I just kind of want to showcase those things that I talked about on the slides. Maybe I'll just go top down here. So number one is we work with small to medium sized, really unique properties. And sometimes you're unique to the point where you might want to showcase some things, like if you're adults only or absolutely no pets. So maybe even before they start their process, if you really want to touch on something, give them an indication, you can make a custom message. So you can see, you can change the font size, the font, bold, italics, font color. And a little interesting note about me, I am colorblind, so I don't even know what color this is. I think I tried to do it red, so hopefully that's red. But anyways, that gives you an indication there. I'm going to actually cover the bottom part here too, because this is an easy one. So this part is optional as well. A lot of our customers like this. Some people don't, but we make it optional. So you do not have to show this. And then you can even optimize this further by even showing rates in each cell or not showing rates. So this is my example of not showing rates. So that's another way that you can optimize. And then I mentioned some defaults. So you can default the number of adults, children, any other guest types. And this is another way you can put as many guest types here as you want. And then you can default the number of nights. So basically, I have it defaulted to 1 night, but if I had it defaulted to 2, by default, it kind of chooses today, and then 2 days later, it has to check out. But then if they change this check-in, it usually tries to get them to book. Not that they have to, they can change that, but by default, it'll select that. And then this is a newer feature that we have. It's not brand new, but you can include a filter of the different kind of unit types. Some people have different like locations on the property, so they can filter a location, or this is kind of an example. I just want to see boats, or I want to see campsites versus cabins. So you can use that to really let them hone in right from the first step. So those are kind of the optimizations, customizations that you can make on step one. Oh, and promo code here as well. If you do allow promo codes, this would show. If you don't, this would not show. So let's just do a little quick search here. I'm going to search the 23rd through the 26th. One side note, when you do change these dates, this calendar automatically refreshes for those dates to show what dates you've chosen. And then I'm going to hit search. So in our booking engine, we then show the available units for those dates. And then here's where I kind of showcased in those slides as well. So this is kind of step 2 of the booking engine for where they're really trying to find the units that they want for those dates. So one thing I mentioned is you can have different rates. So you can have as many rates here as you want. So maybe have a AAA rate or any other type of special rate that you want. But this is where, by default, this appears for everyone. So they can sort, they can kind of filter by price. So if I only want to see things that are, less than $163, you may have noticed one kind of slid off, disappeared. If they need something for 4 guests, you can click that and we get those units. And then this using amenities search. So this isn't really new, but we've had this for a while, but I still see quite a few people that don't have this enabled. So we allow you to put some amenities in each unit, and then I can start to filter, oh, I need a 3-bed. And then you'll notice things disappear, things appear, or I really want. So it's, again, you get the idea. I don't need to go through every one of them, but encourage you to optimize that. So again, how this is optimizing it is really having the guests not have to look at this, scroll through pictures. Oh, I can't find this with this hot tub. I can view the descriptions. Oh, now I see this. Oh, but maybe I want to look at this unit. And then they have to scroll through each unit. So by having these filters, amenities filters, they can just kind of click these check boxes and not have to waste their time looking through every. So I'm gonna add my fake unit on this reservation. Judy, I'll get to you in 1 second. Let me go here and then I will. Well, no, let's recap that because you wanted to talk about that last stage. So I do have a question again. Thank you. Can there be seasonal rates? So Judy says, I don't know if you guys, I think I said that everybody can see the questions, but I like to read them anyways. Can there be seasonal rates? Now we have 2 seasons, each with different rates. Yes. So the way that our software works, I know, again, like I said, there's people that might not use our software, is you have a unit and it's tied to a rate plan. That rate plan can fluctuate prices throughout the year. You can do yield management in there. So that's where you put the seasons in. So then depending upon the dates that I choose here, that's going to determine the prices. When I'm going on this page, that's going to determine this rate, like my standard rate or whatever it is. So I have elected that this unit during this time period is 202. If I were to choose a different time period, it might be 300, or in the winter time, it might be 170. So that's kind of how we do seasonal rates. So, and then Jane, I think you raised your hand. Let me just, I have unmuted you. Do you have a question? You're muted if you do. All right. Jane, are you there? Okay, that didn't work. All right, let's continue on here. So this part, this is just optional. So you have the ability to sell add-ons and packages. So packages are more groups of things. Like this is my resort example, where it includes s'more stick, bag of marshmallows, graham crackers, box of chocolates. So that can be computed depending upon the number of people. So I can allocate a certain dollar amount go to the s'more sticks, a certain dollar amount go to marshmallows, chocolate, etc. But the customer sees that it's 19. And then one thing that's super awesome is it flies over here, it highlights this. We make it really easy for them to remove things so that they're not getting caught up or lost in the rates. And we're really conscious about showing them the rates as they go. All right, let's finish this reservation up in customizations on this final step. So, of course, they got to put their name, address, email in here. Um, if you're like most, I put this in kind of incognito mode, but a lot of times now, using your browser, it'll pre-fill out forms, so you can just click it and it'll just auto-populate all that information. So it just really makes things quick to put in their information. Here's where you put in your deposit policies, of course, credit card numbers. And then this part is what you can optimize. You can add as many additional questions. We call these custom fields in the software. So you can ask additional questions on this page. You can make it optional or required. You'll notice I have all of these as optional, but if something was required, it would be bold, and then I basically have to fill out something here in order to move on. And then this final thing here, I like to showcase this because we do get questions about, how do I know that they've read the terms and conditions, or I got a chargeback? How do I make sure I share the information? Chargebacks are tough, but with our software, they can't make a reservation without clicking the box saying that they've read it. But one cool thing we do here is we put it in a scroll box. And then what I always tell people is do something like this, especially if you have some sort of unique things like no pets, or just, and people continue to bring pets and say they didn't read it, something like that. Put a bunch of asterisks in red, please read. It can be large fonts. It just encourages people. It doesn't guarantee people are going to read this, but it sort of draws their attention to this box. So it's more likely than not that at least they're going to read this first part. So again, I have it big fonts, red, bold, big fonts, underlined. So at least even before I do anything, it's sort of, I know, like, oh, geez, I need to stay Saturday to Saturday. Yep, I agree. And then you click the button, right? So that's kind of the different optimizations and customizations along the way. What I did want to touch on here is, and I mentioned it on the slide, is what if they don't click this button, right? So they've gotten through this process, filled out their information like so many of us do, and for whatever reason, maybe like, oh, I don't know, I better ask my, or better ask my husband, or kid starts crying, shoot, I gotta leave, and I'm just gonna do this later, and they leave. We have a product, let me go back to here, called resCover. This is probably the most underused yet most valuable thing that we, not the most valuable thing that we offer, but value wise, it is. So what this is it can capture those people that have kind of gone all the way and did it and just didn't quite finish their booking. So you can send out a series of emails after that. We usually like to do 30 minutes after they abandon their cart, then the day after that, then the day after that, with one more each of those days. You can customize the messaging. You can offer an incentive or not. Most of our customers that use this don't offer an incentive, and they still see amazing results from this. If you do offer an incentive, I would wait probably until that second or even the third email to offer the incentive. But so that's kind of a product. That's just another way that let the technology and stuff work for you. And because of course, you're not going to know who's kind of looking at making a reservation and leaving, but this does, right? So it can track it. It will then send them emails. You can get reports. It's really a cool product. So So that's kind of the booking process, optimizing the booking process. Before I kind of switch over to the next sort of topic in this, does anyone else have any questions? Want to jump in? All right, let me switch back over to the slides. Oh, I already am on the slides. Sorry about that. I am going to launch another poll here. I want to just kind of see, as far as your reservations, I'd love to just get an idea of, we do have some people that use our software that don't take online reservations. So just kind of want to know, are you taking reservations? And then just some of those things that we just discussed, are you using some of those features? Because and maybe I should have asked this before because I could have skipped a lot of the stuff. But again, I know people might not be using our software that I make sure I covered. So if you could take, again, should be less than 30 seconds or a minute to just answer. There's just 4 questions. And I'll keep it open here for a little bit. But feel free to post in even the Q&A or even the chat function where you're calling in from. Like I chimed in right before I started this. I'm here in Minnesota. This isn't abnormal this time of the year, but it is sunny. And I think I looked at after I said it felt like 70, I looked at the thermometer and it said like 66 degrees where I am. So got out and took a walk. I just love this time of the year. Regardless of where I am, this time of the year is almost ideal. All right, almost there. I got a couple more people if you can fill it out. I'll give another 15 seconds. How about that? And again, I usually try to make these webinars 45-ish minutes or less, so I really appreciate you hanging in there. And I really appreciate the participation as well. So another 10 seconds here. All right, I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to share these results just because it just shows an example here. So 78% are taking reservations from your website. That's awesome. 22% are not, which is fine as well. There's probably reasons for that. And then as far as filters go, some of you know that you are, some of you know that you aren't. And then a third of you just are not quite sure if you're using that feature, which is fine as well. And then what percentage of your revenue are coming from bookings made from your website? So revenue. So less than 20%, 20 to 30%, and then 31 to 49, and then 50 to 64. So we wanna be at least in that 50 to 64. I was hoping some people would say 65% or more. And then, a couple people maybe just don't know, which is fine as well. It may not be your role to know, but so I just thought that was worth sharing. So what I want to quickly talk about here is optimizing communication. So what this does, especially during your busy season, is going to allow you to kind of work smarter, right? So communication is using the tools to sort of communicate with your guests without you really having to really interact. So of course, there's emails, right? I hope everybody is sending out emails, at least a confirmation email. Can use customized templates for that. You can set up a schedule, which definitely recommend. So of course there's the confirmation, and then I like to do a promote like a pre-arrival that's a few days before. So again, this for email, I'll talk about like text options as well, but an email a few days before the reservation. You could recap some things. If you do upsells, that's where you can kind of promote them. Maybe you sell early check-in, or just kind of get them excited, share more information, start giving them directions maybe, or address so they can start planning their trip. And I would say probably in that 2 to 3 emails before their stay. So of course that confirmation, the pre-arrival, and then maybe the day before, the night before, or the morning of their arrival. One thing I always recommend, some people want to make it easy for them to pay. Some people prefer that they just pay for the reservation when they come check in. They have to then do that. You can include a payment link for that reservation so they can pay ahead of time. And as far as SMS and text, I am going to launch a poll here quick before I talk about this. I apologize. I'm going to launch a poll just to kind of get an idea of what you guys do. And I'm going to showcase a couple of things for SMS text, just to get an idea. And if everybody is already using text, this will be easy. If not, I'll just give you a couple of real life kind of examples of how that could work. So I'm going to open this for just a couple of minutes here again. I'm kind of skipping ahead on a poll, but you'll get if you actually participate in this poll, you'll get a sneak peek at some of the things I'll be discussing later. Again, I'm pretty informal about these things, so hopefully everybody here is okay with that. I went on order. Shame on me. All right, we're getting close. I'm gonna keep it open here for another 15, 20 seconds. All right. All right. I am going to end it, and I'm going to share these two just because it's always good to know what other folks are doing. How do you communicate pre-stay? So email only, I should have said, but I'm assuming since the other questions are optional, half of you, 10% is a combination or just SMS text, and then 20% is a combination of emails and texts. And then we got 20% that sends an email confirmation, and that's about it. How many messages do you send your guests total? So we've got a couple people that just are 1, 50% of you send 2, which is good. And then 10% across the board, 3, 4, and 5 or more. And then again, this is kind of a sneak peek, and I should have probably waited on this one, but just your occupancy map, I will be discussing here, kind of optimizing those and some features. So I appreciate you answering that as well. Okay, so what I wanted to do is just kind of click. Let's see what I didn't. Let's see if this works. I wanted to showcase, so in case somebody doesn't use text and they want to kind of see an example, this is, I'm going to start this back up. So this is just kind of an example of somebody getting a registration card. So a couple of things I don't like that message. You can put your property name. Looking forward to seeing you. But this is an example of a registration card. Can recap their information, click it, they agree to the terms and conditions. They can sign the registration card. And then, so this is a great way to communicate with them like the morning of their arrival. As far as this is another way, so this is more of a mid-stay communication. This is where you could text them with a kind of almost like a digital guidebook. So during their stay, if they want to know about some activities in the area or dining that you might recommend, you can build this and incorporate this into your messaging as well. What this does is it kind of encourages, it doesn't kind of, it encourages interaction between you and your guests, and it allows for the flow of communication. So, but I don't feel like text and SMS should be something you solely use and just inundate them with texts, because that's not great. So I would say recommend kind of that one text message, probably the morning of arrival, but some people do too, and that's okay too. But I wouldn't use text to send them stuff 2 months before their reservation. I feel like it's more of a here and now type situation. I do encourage to send text one mid-stay, so that could be an example of that guidebook, or just like a mid-stay, how's your reservation going, like survey type scenario, and then one post-stay, like thank you, and then I do encourage surveys on that. So that's kind of like on a scale of 1 to 5, rate us. If they rate a 5, then you can have it respond and say that you know, that's fantastic. Would you mind sharing that Google review and include links? So we actually partner with a company called AKIA to do this. So again, have a promotion at the end, but if anybody has any questions on that, they can reach out. But, so kind of emails, think about emails and texts, and then let the system do this stuff for you. Set up schedules, set up automation. It is personalized. It can have their name, do your first name. So it doesn't feel like it's automated yet. You don't really do anything. You can focus on taking care of your guests rather than answering questions. So now we're going to talk about the actual software, and I'm going to quickly cover these, and then I'm going to switch over into the software for this part. So I kind of am touching on two things in our software. Again, I try to keep these webinars to about 45 minutes or so I can't really go through our entire deck, but kind of a couple of things to optimize in your software. And I touch on these because not as many people use these things as I feel like they should. And number one is our kind of integrated payments, integrated credit card processing. So that's basically to where we partner with a couple of different solutions where you can click make payment. Yep, use that Visa that they gave me, hit submit, and process that credit card right on the screen without having to kind of look up a card number, go somewhere else. We do offer that solution, but this can really streamline your process and remove a lot of steps that it could be. And then it allows you those payment links that I discussed. If you wanted to send out a pre-arrival with a payment link, it allows them to kind of pay for the reservation. So I'm going to just kind of quickly do this. I'm going to switch over to the software to talk about the occupancy map. But a couple of things I'm going to touch on here is the kind of using custom colors, which from the poll, it sounds like a lot of you are using, most of you are using. And then I'm going to touch on a couple other that probably you either don't use for a reason or maybe not know about custom fields. So let's, all right. All right. I made that more complicated than I needed. So for those of you that use our software, this is going to be very familiar. For those of you that do not use our software, we call this the occupancy map. But if you're using any other type of software, it's very similar, right? Units down the side, dates across top, reservations here in the middle. Most of you, again, are using those custom colors, which is awesome. What that means is by default, the reservations are color coded by payment status, but we have the ability to customize a color. So you'll notice Kyle here. And again, if you'll remember, I'm colorblind, so I really don't know what color this is, but whatever color this is, it indicates that you'll see over here, Kyle is bringing a pet. So that color indicates he's bringing a pet. And then, so that's kind of custom colors. And then to kind of go along with colors is we also have the ability to do custom colors on the units. So why I bring this up is if you have employee turnover or newer employees and they might not be totally familiar with your property, you can use these things like color coding for maybe location of the property. I want to have a garden, want riverside, want lake view, whatever those things are, you can sort of use these colors to pinpoint. Of course, when you hover over that, it does give you a full description, but I just wanted to touch on kind of one of the reasons that you could color code these units. And then I wanted to touch on, you'll notice Donald Duck here is coming tomorrow. Some of these custom fields here too. So and then Kyle too. So we allow you to incorporate custom fields in the software, and then you can show these fields right on the reservation without even having to click. So I'm going to quickly touch on this settings. Oh, and then I'll touch on this by night feature too, just in case. But this is where the custom fields are shown. So any custom fields that you have in your software, you can choose to show them on that reservation or not. Again, you can show the occupants, number of nights, and the guest counts along with that. Get a little preview here. I do want to showcase this. I forgot, but this is something we added a few months ago to be able to toggle it. I'm going to save it just in case some people aren't aware of that. What it does is it kind of shifts the reservations to be more of a arriving on this date, departing on this date, instead of it covering the nights that they're there. So just wanted to showcase that. I did have a question here, so I'll answer that. Judy, do you do the custom color in the configuration section? Actually, you can do it right here. So if you don't have custom colors enabled, just go to your occupancy map and just click on any reservation and click on this custom color, and there should be a define custom colors. So that's maybe the quickest way to do that. Or there is a settings here. If you click on that settings option and you go to, I think it's reservation colors, and then there's a tab for custom colors. So there's two different ways to access that. So really, you get to define a description, and then you get to define the color. So you can literally pick any shade of any color. What I should do is a quiz on myself, and you guys should tell me if I'm right. I think this is green, gray, black, green, purple, orange. I don't know. I give up. That's how colorblind I am, but I think I was. But that's kind of choosing some custom. So good question. Thanks for the question, Judy. And all right, so that's kind of the optimization here. Some people, you can do a wait list or not a wait list. So you can click on this and optimize that as well. And then one other thing you can do on this screen that I like to showcase is you can make custom events. So if you click on a date, you can add an event. So I'm going to act like the eclipse wasn't just a couple of days ago, and then say that it's on the 14th. So you can put in an event, color code it. So then visually on the calendar now, you see an event. You can click on that and see what event that is. So this is useful for holidays. If you have a local event going on, like concerts or a festival in town, you can sort of set those up. So visually, if somebody's like, oh, I want a reservation around this festival, I think it was those dates. So you can kind of kind of capture that information. And then hopefully everybody is optimizing their rates. Maybe if you just all put in yes or no in the question and answer, I should have put this as a poll, but I'm curious how many people here do you, so the question is, do you change your rates throughout the year, or do you just set them up at the beginning of the year or the fall of the previous year? You set them up for the next year and you don't change them. So yes, if you change them kind of periodically, you'll up it depending upon occupancy or lower it. So put in your question and answer. Yes, if you change your rates often. No, if you just kind of set it and forget it. Those are my rates. I'm just curious. And I guess you don't have to share that information if you but got a couple people participating. Change them all the time, which is awesome. Yes, yes, good job. Love it. So yeah, changing your rates is a good thing. We have other webinars that I can showcase, like our yield management function. So that can be a deeper discussion for a later time. But all right, let's switch back. Just kind of wanted to focus on that payments portion and then just kind of the customizations and optimizations on this calendar. So make sure everybody is taking full advantage of this. Well, before I go, I will just showcase, hopefully everybody that changes rates all the time is familiar with this little $ button, rate optimization. So you can kind of see your occupancy levels for your entire property and then under each kind of like unit or unit group to where like on this solar eclipse for that weekend, maybe I want to just change the rates here. I can highlight under this all column, all of my rates here, and then just increase it by 10% and hit save. So just in case those of you that like to change your rates often kind of on the fly, if you're not using this as the quick rate editor, it's something you may want. Okay, let's switch back. I already did this poll, so I don't have another poll for you. But just kind of recap. So optimize the booking engine. Showcase the uniqueness of your property. Custom messages on the top. Highlight your amenities. Let the guests kind of fine tune the results that they want to see. And then booking abandonment. Recapture those abandoned bookings without you having to lift a finger. Optimize your communication. So provide quality information, but not excessive amounts. Sometimes people send too many emails, and the important information kind of gets lost. We recommend a combination of emails and text. I know some of you are doing that, others are not. But that's just kind of one thing we recommend. And then if you're not already, consider kind of that pre-stay environment, the mid-stay environment communication, and then what you want to kind of automate after their stay. And then as far as the software goes, really the software is about streamlining workflows. Using the integrated processing is going to save you the time, eliminate kind of manual entry errors. And then just some of those custom colors and information just kind of gets you the access to the information you need a lot quicker. Okay, so quiz. I did mention this. It's easy. Get 3 out of 4 correct. First one. I tried to make it super easy to at least give you a one freebie on there. two freebies. I'm going to call it 2 out of 4 totally freebies. I mean, a couple of other ones are pretty dang easy if you pay attention. So I'll keep this open for about another full minute just because I want to give away money. So um, I'll allow the majority of people to fill this out. I wonder if I can keep that up. Well, I'll keep. I think we only have like maybe one more to answer it. Not even 10 seconds. All right. Just to let you know, I'm quickly looking at the answers. I think everybody that filled it out got 3 out of 4 for sure. Most of you got 4. So that is awesome. Let's just talk about specials. So anybody that, I suppose it's anybody that's viewing this webinar later can take advantage of this too, but anybody here, if you're a current customer, that resCover, the booking abandonment, which we normally sell for only, even at the normal price, 99 bucks a month, is a steal, but $89 a month for the first year. Anybody that's on here, that AKIA's, that SMS text messaging integration that we have. So we kind of bill on behalf of that, so we can waive the setup fee for that. And then just kind of if you're interested in a new website, I know I didn't cover websites a lot here, but we just can set you up with a new website for free, and then it's just the small nominal monthly charge. New customers, if you're interested in taking advantage of our software, we're going to waive the setup fee and give you that first 3 months free. So it's essentially kind of like a free trial, since technically in the first 3 months we allow you to quit. So and then I'm going to include that 3 months of that resCover for new customers that sign up too. So thank you. Here's an email, sales@rezstream.com. Any questions, comments, feedback that you want to tell me, just send me an email. There's our phone number. I bet this isn't linkable, but on our website, if you want to schedule a conversation, there's a book a demo here as well. But let me know. There will be a survey about this webinar too. I think you'll get that after I end this. Really appreciate feedback. Did you find this information valuable? Are you enjoying these things? We always ask for topics for the next time. So if you're a user, really want a topic on a deep dive on a certain thing, just feel free to give us that feedback. So thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day. Appreciate it.